Mandy and I are out on a photo shoot, but I also brought my salmon rod with me as well. And we just stumbled across these beautiful, what have we got? Let's have a look. Mixture of, are they grey lag and Canadian in there? Or are they all grey lag? Are they the same? They all look pretty similar, don't they? I think they're, oh, there's some Canadian there. There's the Canadian. And then you've got the, I think they're grey lag or bean geese in amongst them. That's nice. Big old flock of them. Mandy's here to take some still pictures for me. Hi, Mand. Looking forward to this little evening trip. Should be fun with your new camera. See if we can get some nice still shots of some wildlife. So we're here over at Ashley today, and I'm looking for my third Atlantic salmon. Spring tides this weekend are huge. Salmon are running. Gonna give it a couple of hours and see whether we can catch a lovely fish. Oh man, we've got a whole family of swallows just here at Ashley, and they're just feeding on the grantham flies that are coming out. I'm going to see if I can get a zoomed in close up if I can. They're hard to get. They're beautiful swallows. Coming around again. There you go. They're up high and then they're going low. See if I can follow one. They're very fast. Wow, something went by very quickly. There you go. They're the swallows. There's one coming in quite close. That's lovely. Swallows gliding in. There's about 8 of them. Wow. Really hard to keep with them. They're so fast, aren't they? There they go. There's the swallows. Boy, fast. That's lovely. You can get an action shot if you like. And I've got the wind to help me, so it's a lovely pool when the wind's coming on your side. It just pushes it into the areas that you want to get into. And it's quite deep, so I'm hardly working the fly. I'm letting the current work the fly. It's not hitting bottom. So I'm just working it gently. And then on the magic curve. All these magic curves in this state, there's lies all the way around there. So it's well worth working the fly through. Lovely pool this, above the breakthrough. Got an oxbow that runs around the back of it, and a little footbridge to come over. But this is an excellent pool, and I always put my fly through here if I can. Straighten that up a bit, and on the dangle. We go again. And that's swinging around beautifully, so that's going to pan all that area for me and just bring any salmon out. If he's up to follow, I'll bring the salmon out from that tight bank and bring him into the flow. He'll follow it through. May not take it first time, but he might have moved into a different position, maybe more central. And then if you put your fly again through the pool, he may come up on it. So it's just a question of getting your time right. I've fished what I call a V-swim, and I'll show you that at some point. And let's just put a bit more line out, let that curve round, mend that line. We're not bumping any weed, we're not bumping any gravel, so perfect for fly fishing. I'm going to give some, I'm going to take some. I'm going to give some, I'm going to take some. There's lots of caved in banks here, and they've got big spots of mounds, and the salmon can lie in behind those mounds to rest. So the fly could be taken on the kick round. That's lovely. Mend the line. Now mending. So giving some and mending it. Giving some and mending it. There's quite a good flow through here. And back again. Tweaking it, tweaking it, tweaking it, and back again. See, I'm not even hitting the bottom here, so it's a deep hole, it's fast water. So floating lines give me control. See what's going on. Working it back, working it back, working it back. Let it go back, and then work it again. Work it back, work it back, work it back. Work it back, work it back. Let's have a look at her. She's fine, working correctly. That fly is working fine. So, what? The fish is taking it on the dangle. How about that? It's a trout. And I was just inspecting the fly. How about that for explosion? There's an explosion for you. It's a trout. Still on. So we're going to get that on there. What an explosion take. Just inspecting my fly for a split second, held it up on the dangle, and a trout hit it with aggression. Well, there's a bit of action for you, ladies and gentlemen. Get this line on. That made me jump out of my skin. Can you imagine if that was a 30-pound salmon? God, jumped out of my skin there. They took it off the top there. So let's see if we can get this trout in. It's fighting well. It's trying to go upstream of me. So it's got some fight. Look at the bend in the rod. It's going off into the current. That is fighting very well. It's a good little fish. It's got a buttery brown colour to it. It tells me it's a brown trout. He's kicking off, but look, wow, look at that. So there he goes. See whether we can land this fish. So above the breakthrough, there's the trout. You see that? It's not sea trout. It's got to be a brownie. It looks like a brownie to me. It might be a sea trout. Have a look at him. Let's get him up. It's well and truly hooked. Now, going to keep control of him. Let's have a look at him. There's the fish. And that looks like a brown trout to me. I think it is a brownie. So if you like that fly, I told you that Alistair Darling produces the goods. So we're going to net him now. And then we'll take a look at him. See what condition he's in. But didn't he take that aggressively? What an aggressive take. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Right, got the net off. Let's get the pole up. Right, let's just swing him into here. And we'll net him behind the fish. We'll have a look at him. He's a pretty little fish. He's ours. And there you have him, ladies and gentlemen. A 1 pound brownie. Wild brownie. Let's have a look at him. Oh, he's a beauty. Absolute beauty. You can see how pretty he is. He's silvered up a little bit. Now wet your hands before you touch him. And we'll try and get the hooks out. It's a 4-set jobby because he's taken those hooks on the edge. And the Alistair Darling's done the business. So there's the fish. Let's have a look at her. Just calm him down. Just calm down. Now, let's get the hooks out. Where will we get him? Oh, top lip. Only one in there. So let's get the hooks out. There's the hook there. Let's ease him out. Might be easier to do it with your hands because forceps are good, but don't have the same sensitivity as your hand. Now I've got it out with my hand. It was a lot easier. So we'll put the fish back in the water as quickly as we can to recover him. So there's a lovely little brown trout, and it's an immaculate condition. Perfect finish, perfect spots on it. And we'll just hold him upstream and recover him now. That's lovely. I'm very pleased with that. So he took it on the dangle. I was just inspecting the fly to make sure it was okay, and suddenly it launched itself out of the water right under my nose. And you saw the explosion. So how about that, ladies and gentlemen? on the Alistair Darling fly, and while that's recovering I'll just show you the fly. It's had a salmon this year, and now it's had a beautiful, well, it's had a pike, salmon, and now a brown trout. And this is the beauty of the fly. It's got jungle cock feathers either side, orange head, orange tail, and look at that for a body. Just look at that. I mean, that is amazing, isn't it? And it's got these lovely little coil attractors at the tail end there. Can you see that on the dressing? That's all coming out beautifully. But that's lovely, isn't it? And then it's quite heavily dressed. I mean, the gold buck hair and the yellows in there are actually quite sturdy, with the black and the olive in there as well. I think that's an excellent fly. I highly rate those. And let's see how this fish is recovering now. Hopefully he's recovering well. Let's have a look at him. Oh yes. Oh, he's fine. He's absolutely fine. Of course, Mandy, my wife, is taking photography further up, and I'd like to get a picture of him, but I might just see if she's around and get a picture before we go anywhere. Believe this. I was just inspecting my fly. I worked through the pool through here, and I thought I'll just work it back slowly, and as it was like no more than 10 feet out, I thought I'm just going to make sure my fly is not upside down or inside out or all over the place. And for about 3 seconds was just observing the beauty of the fly. Guess what happened? The trout, I've got a beautiful brown trout, perfect condition wild brownie. He came right out of the water and hit it 10 feet in front of me. Do you want to take a still picture? Yeah. Right, we've landed a beautiful 1 pound brown trout on an Alistair Gold RS fly. I'm just going to show you the fish. It's down here. Have a look at him. So it's the most beautiful trout I've seen for a while. And I've wet my hands so we don't actually burn the fish's scales or take the slime off him. We're going to keep him. He's beautifully recovered. Now, how about that, ladies and gentlemen, for a beautiful wild brown trout? Isn't that just beautiful? Just look at that. The colours on him. He's beautiful, isn't he? Beautiful fish. So very, very happy with him. Very happy indeed. We'll just put him back now. Back in the water. Just hold his head upstream. He took it on the surface, and I was very pleased with that. Took the fly as I was dangling it. I was just inspecting my fly 10 feet out from me, and all of a sudden just came up and hit the fly with aggression. Okay, we've just caught ourselves a beautiful 1 pound wild brownie. It's been recovering in the net for about 3 or 4 minutes now. It put up a great little fight for a little fella, and he's ready to go back now. And I'll just show you this beautiful fish. And you can see he wants to kick off. He's in the net at the moment, but I'll just show you how beautiful he is in the water. Just look at that. He's got the perfect speckly brown marks. It's a beautiful fish. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold him with his head facing upwards here. And basically, he wants to kick off. I'm not going to let him go yet. I want to make sure he's fully recovered, fully strong. And we keep his head in the flow and we support his stomach. And before we let him kick off, we make sure that he's got all the power he needs to move upstream. So there's the fish. Now what I'm going to do is just going to move that net away for a second. Just move that away. And then, Mandy, if you can zoom in on the fish and see the beautiful colours of the fish. Can you see that? Can you zoom in on it and just see that? Okay. He's ready to kick off, so I'm going to let him go in a second. He wants to go. Just going to hold him for a second. So head upstream, there's a nice bit of flow on here, and then we're going to release him. So if you come out of the shot and get me and the fish together, okay, and there he is. That's the beautiful, beautiful brown trout, and he's ready to go. So off he goes. He's kicking off, and there he goes. And it's just wonderful to release these fish, and beautiful, beautiful fish. A wild brownie of the Hampshire Avon, fishing above the breakthrough of an evening. We're after the salmon, but the brown trout are obliging. My rig is working. Let's go and find that salmon, and let's land a salmon tonight, man. Oh, that's lovely. That's a big hair on the Avon Valley. Look, there he goes. He's just moved his head. Look, he's hearing me. He can hear me. Is he going to run for us? Run, hare, run. There we go. We've got to run. We've got to run. Just look and go. Just look and go. He's fast. He's fast.